The guy who invented the koosh ball invented it because his child was having trouble catching a ball. The bald eagle depicted on U.S. currency was based on a real eagle named Peter. Peter used to reside on top of the U.S. Mint building. When he passed away in 1836, Peter was preserved and is currently on display within the same building where he once made his nest. Freddie Mercury had a unique bed with a piano as its headboard. He would frequently play melodies he had dreamt of, and this is how the idea for Bohemian Rhapsody originated. The Powerball drawing on March 30th, 2005, was quite unusual as it produced 110 second prize winners. All of the 110 winners had selected their numbers from fortune cookies made by Wanton Food Inc. Granny Smith apples originated by accident when a lady dumped a crate of old rotten French crab apples in her garden and then later found an apple sapling growing there. The tree grew to produce green tart apples that had never grown before. Daniel Craig has been injured 5 times while playing James Bond. He does all of his own stunts and has had his 2 front teeth smashed out, lost the tip of a finger, sprained his arm and knee in separate incidents, and pulled his ankle. There was a form of medieval torture where the victim's feet were covered in salt water and then a goat would start licking them. In 1975, Gary Dahl, an American businessman, came up with the idea of the pet rock. He collected rocks from a beach in Mexico and sold each for $4. In just 6 months, he made more than $1.5 million from this simple concept. Tom Cruise once invited celebrities like Will Smith, Jada Pinkett Smith, and Leah Remini to his house and suggested playing hide-and-seek. He enthusiastically participated, running off into his property, which spanned over 3 acres. In 18th century England, rich people sometimes paid ornamental hermits, who were usually poor, to dress up in druid costumes and live in simple houses in their gardens. This odd custom might have been the inspiration for garden gnome statues. In the 1920s, a student named Lothrop Withington Jr. at Harvard ate a live goldfish to get more votes for class president. This started a big fad where many people swallowed goldfish. It got so out of hand that the government in Massachusetts had to make a law to stop it. In 2014, YouTube star Grumpy Cat earned more money than Oscar-winning actress Gwyneth Paltrow. The inventor of the first flushing toilet, Sir John Harrington, was known as Sir Flush by his friends. Also, Kit Harrington is related to him. Sylvester Stallone's distinctive facial paralysis is the result of a doctor misusing tongs during Stallone's birth, severing the nerves in Stallone's lower left cheek. After retiring from NASA, Buzz Aldrin, the second man on the moon, fell into a deep depression and ended up working as a used car salesman. Arnold Schwarzenegger paid Austria to ship him the exact same tank he drove when he was a soldier. It is fully operable, and he uses it to support his fundraising efforts. U-Haul rarely runs advertisements. The founder viewed having trucks all over the road with his logo on it as the only advertising he needed. In ancient Egypt, onions were worshipped as they were considered a symbol of eternity. Many pharaohs were actually buried with onions. Paintings of onions have also been found on the inner walls of pyramids and tombs. Alexander Graham Bell suggested answering calls with the word ahoy instead of hello. Eminem's song Lose Yourself was the first rap song to win an Oscar for Best Original Song, but Eminem did not even watch the awards because he did not think he stood a chance at winning. Instead, he fell asleep watching cartoons with his daughter. Roller coasters were invented to distract Americans from sin. In the 1880s, hosiery businessman Lamarcus Thompson didn't like that Americans were going to places like saloons and brothels and created the first roller coaster on Coney Island to persuade them to go there instead. After Beethoven first performed his 9th Symphony, he couldn't hear the rapturous applause it received due to his deafness. One of his singers had to approach him and turn him around so that he could see the standing ovation he was receiving. The Powerpuff Girls was initially named Whoop-Ass Stew. In the original concept, Professor Utonium mistakenly added a can of Whoop-Ass instead of Chemical X to his formula, and the characters were intended to be called the Whoop-Ass Girls.